Hey guys, Kildare here, and today I'm going to be telling you why I prefer Heroes over League of Legends. Now, before you sharpen those pitchforks, I'm definitely not saying that League of Legends is bad, or any other MOBA is bad. I've played League for over 2 years, and I did enjoy myself. It was fun. Both Heroes and League are great games, but everyone has their own preferences, and these are 10 reasons why I like Heroes over League. Both games have their strong points, and this list is for amusement purposes and sharing my opinion, which is not factual, right, or wrong. So with that said, let's have a look. Number 10, simplicity. So I actually have 4 points to make, but I didn't think any of them were good enough to have their own spot in the list, so I just put them all at number 10. So firstly, quick games. What I really like about Heroes is that it's way faster than League of Legends in general. A League of Legends game can range from anywhere to half an hour to an hour, and it's really demoralizing if you lose that game. But in Heroes of the Storm, it can be as short as 8 minutes, and possibly go up to about 30 minutes. So the next point I want to make is level sharing. It's not a feature I liked to begin with, but now I really like it. It's just really good, especially if you're a support character. No one ever falls behind, and everyone gets their ultimates or their heroic abilities at the exact same time, which makes for really good team fights. Next one is last hitting. So I've never been a fan of last hitting. I think it's a little bit too much on the micromanagement side of things. However, in Heroes of the Storm, it's completely removed. You just need to be near the minion and you will gain experience. There's also no gold in Heroes, which is something I will touch on a little bit later. And lastly is comebacks. In League, you definitely can make comebacks. It's certainly a possibility. However, I think it's a little bit more rare in League and compared to Heroes of the Storm. Even if you have a level advantage or a kill advantage in Heroes of the Storm, there's still a chance the enemy can win. It's a really good opportunity, and there is no definite winning or losing in most cases. Number 9 is the Blizzard universe. I love the idea of all or most of the Blizzard characters being in a hero brawler. It's really fun and it's just really nostalgic for me considering I've been playing Blizzard games ever since I was 8 years old. So I'm really familiar with Warcraft, Starcraft, Diablo, all that kind of stuff, and it's just really nice and fun really to see them all in the same game killing each other. Something I also appreciate is that Heroes of the Storm is now actually going out of the way to create its own characters, and I'd really like to see more of that. I think it's a really good idea, and I think that Heroes of the Storm is actually becoming more and more of its own independent universe, I guess you could say, which is something I also really like the idea of. Number 8, physics. Now, if you haven't been playing Heroes of the Storm with physics set to max, you should immediately do that, because it makes the game a lot more, well, funny. It's always really funny and entertaining to see a legendary character like Arthas or Diablo suddenly get killed and seeing his corpse somersault through the sky. It really does add a bit of ease to the gameplay in general. And that's the other thing about the physics. I think as a side effect, it does make the game a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more entertaining, and just that sense of ease that I'm after, while League feels a little bit more tense. I can't really point out why, but it just seems to. Number 7, unique heroes. Now, Heroes of the Storm was a late entry to the MOBA marketplace. However, I thought that I would see a lot more reuses of talents and abilities you see in other games like League and, of course, Dota. However, although this may be the case, I also saw a hell of a lot of characters, or heroes, that were unique and didn't share same abilities. A good example is these following 3 characters: Abathur, Cho'Gall, and Uther. Abathur is probably one of the most unique characters I've ever seen, considering that he plays the game generally from the back line. And when I say the back line, I mean right back either at the base or behind a fort. He doesn't engage enemies directly, or, well, he shouldn't be. And that's something really unique, and how you can actually make that work. And not only that, you need to master nearly every other hero if you want to play him very well to make the most of his ultimate. Next up is Cho'Gall. He's really unique because you need 2 people to play him, and he's just as good as if it was 2 individual characters, if not better. It's really good if there's just the 2 of you and you just want to play one hero together. It's especially good if you have comms, so you can communicate very well and pull off some really good attacks, but overall, he's definitely one of my favorite characters and by far most unique. Next up we have Uther. Straight up, looks pretty generic, you know, he just has a heal, a stun, another stun, and a heal and a damage. However, his trait is what makes him unique, where if you kill him, his heals get stronger and it's put on a 1-second cooldown and he continues healing from the dead. It makes him kind of like a stink bug, which is quite unique. It sort of puts the enemy in a unique predicament because they don't want him alive because he's stunning and healing people, but if they kill him, well, he's going to get even stronger heals and there's nothing you can do to stop him. It really is a unique kind of situation you're placed in. Number 6, objectives. Objectives make each and every game different. That also leads on to another point I will cover soon, which is maps. Objectives, I think, really make Heroes of the Storm stand out, because it's not just a standard MOBA or Dota or League of Legends 3 lanes map. It makes each game unique and different, and not only that, the best thing about it is that it will give you a massive advantage if you actually earn the objective, and another amazing point is that it forces team fights, which is what I really like. Team fights early in the game. We're not just staying in our lanes and just doing our own thing. Every couple of minutes an objective will spawn and you have to fight over it, or ignore it and lose. Number 5, Hero Select Screen. So this one's a bit of an outdated choice, but that's because I played League a long time ago, and yeah, you'll understand why. In Heroes, you can choose your hero before you get matched with other people, which means that there is no need to debate on who's playing what, who's top, bottom, mid, ADC, etc., and what's the best team composition per se. You just pick your hero and then you get matched with people. Now the league system has been updated since when I played, which is just the 5 of us get put in together and then you just call what role you want to play, and hopefully you get it. This didn't really bother me that much because when I played League, all I said was fill, so as you could imagine, I mastered support very quickly. However, in Heroes, at least I have the choice where if I do feel like I want to play something different, I can. Number 4, heroic abilities, moves, and mounts. Something that I think is really unique about Heroes is that you can choose between 2 heroics, or ultimates. I haven't really seen any other MOBA do that, personally, so it's something that I really appreciate, especially if it's really situational sort of thing. You can choose on the fly which ultimate would be better, given the enemy team composition. The other point I'd like to make is that you start the game with all of your abilities. You start your game with Q, W, E, and F, if applicable. I know in Heroes and Dota you need to level up and you get one ability at a time. It makes the game a little bit slower in my opinion. You know, at the start of the game you can only use one ability. I think it's just unnecessarily slowing down the game per se. And lastly, you get mounts. So mounts is another thing which helps speed up Heroes of the Storm. You can mount up at any point as long as it's not in combat and then run back to your lane if you needed to go back to heal, etc., etc. Number 3, talents. This is another personal hate for me, but I always disliked the rune system in League of Legends. Once again, I know since I played it has changed. I have gone back and had a look at it, and I will admit it is better than the old system, but I still don't like it. If you compare the runes to the talent system in Heroes of the Storm, I think the talent system is vastly superior in every way. The reason for this is because you can change up how your character plays mid-game. You can look at the enemy team composition and say, well, my normal strategy won't work, however, I do have these talents available, which will make me be able to counter, say, this tank or this specific character. You can always adapt to your enemy composition, which is really good. You can't necessarily fully counter someone, but you can adapt and change depending on what's happening in the game. Just a very, very quick story from my League days. Basically, I've encountered ranked and unranked games where I booted up, we started off in the starting area, and someone immediately said, let's just give up, and rage quitted because someone didn't have the runes that they did not want them to have. It's that kind of prevalent toxicity which bothers me. I know the same thing can happen in Heroes of the Storm, but I've seen it very, very rarely in comparison to League. Number 2, maps. Now, this is what makes Heroes of the Storm stand out from other MOBAs. We have maps. We don't just have the normal Dota map or League of Legends map. The 3 lanes, a jungle, and 2 cores. Granted, every single Heroes map does have basically those 3 things, however, there are objectives sprinkled into it, and the camps are different. There is no real meta in Heroes of the Storm, which is something I can appreciate. Depending on the matchmaking, you could have 2 tanks, 2 healers, and 1 DPS. Or you could have no tanks and just have 5 DPS. It's quite interesting, and, it spices the game up a bit. With each different map comes different objectives, which really spices up the game in general, in my opinion. Overall, I think that the map system is what makes Heroes of the Storm stand out from other MOBAs, and it really makes it shine in comparison to other ones. And number 1 is items. Something that I've always not liked at all is the item system in League, Dota 2, and including Dota 1 when I played it. I understand why it exists, I really do, but that doesn't mean I can still like it. It's not the item itself that I dislike per se, it's more so the process of getting the item. You really need to go into your lane, last hit, make sure you last hit more than the enemy at least, go back to your shop, buy the item, come back to the lane, and hopefully be more powerful than the enemy. On top of all that, at the end of the day, or in 30 minutes I should say, you will either win or lose the game, and all that grinding kind of felt like it was for nothing, You just kind of grinded for 20 minutes. For 10 minutes of fighting, and then you win or lose, and then it's all gone. With Heroes, there are no items, there is no gold, and there is no last hitting. All of the things I really disliked in my other MOBA games. And it's all kind of been replaced with just inherently getting more powerful over time, talents, traits, passives, all that kind of stuff. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that list. Please let me know if there is anything that you like more about League or Heroes, and put it in the comments if you want. Subscribe if you're interested, and thanks for watching.